Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to talk about the world of portability, how it's pretty much over. All right, this is the new age of EUCs, power, range, and the end of portability. Put a nail in it, it's over. So just about 1 year ago, maybe two, a wheel hitting 45 to 50 miles per hour was considered powerful, even elite. But in today's world of high performance electric unicycles, guys, that's barely scratching the surface. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some, and I'm not saying everybody, but for most of us, 45 to 50 miles per hour is still pretty fast. So I'm not going to say it's everybody thinking this. But, you know, on the general consensus, if you will, if you look up a video right now describing any wheel, most people will say 50 miles an hour is not that fast. But a lot of people who are not on YouTube pretty much, for the most part, ride in the range of 35 to 45 miles per hour. So I'm not going to go by complete YouTube videos. But what I'm trying to say is it isn't just about speed anymore. It's about sustainability. How long a wheel can hold that speed, maintain its torque, and deliver power without burning out or even cutting off. Now, remember when portability was the key selling point? Yeah, that was like years ago, light years ago. Lightweight frames, trolley handles, easy to lift up, a flight of stairs, etc., put in your office, stuff like that. Those days, for the most part, are gone with new wheels that are currently being sold, because you can still go to Facebook Marketplace and purchase an RS, purchase a King Song, you know, one of those older wheels where you could just, you know, put in your office or in the front seat of your car. You could still put many of those wheels today, like the EX30 in the front seat of your car, but let's be honest, who's going to try doing that? It's pretty heavy, it's pretty cumbersome. So you get my point. Now, those days, for the most part, are gone. Now, practicality has changed. It's shifted gears, okay? It's shifted gears. Practicality now means power, range, and safety. Wheels like the Begode EX30, which I absolutely love, the Leaperkim Sherman L, and now the Inmotion P6 have redefined what usable performance really means. Okay, they're designed for serious riders who demand consistent output, better heat management, and a lower chance of cutouts, even when pushing to the limits. Now, here's what's interesting. I said it was designed for, you know, high performance riders, but guys, we know that it's the hardcore riders, the jumpers, the people who do these crazy jumps and stuff like that, the guys who push the wheel's limit. They're the ones that make it possible for all those who are below that tier of riding to be able to benefit from those advancements, right? So even if you're not a fast rider, even if you're not a jumper, you're going to benefit in the end as a result of these riders pushing the limit. So congrats, and show your appreciation. Now, we've entered a brave new world of electric unicycles, guys, where innovation meets endurance. The question isn't how fast you can go, it's how long can your wheel stay strong at those speeds, and torque, you know what I mean? So here are 5 standout wheels that perfectly define this new era, in my opinion. These are machines that combine insane specs with real-world reliability. Okay, so the first one I'm going to go with, and I have no practical experience with this, but I'm gonna go based on what the forums say and what people on YouTube reviews have said. So the first wheel on my list is the Begode Blitz, and maybe the Blitz Pro. It's basically a street rocket. The Begode Blitz is raw aggression in a compact frame. It packs 3,500 watt motor, peaking near 8,000 watts, and pushes speeds of up to 55 miles per hour. With a 2,400 watt hour battery, it's clearly a short range, high powered wheel, mostly designed for racing. And it weighs around like 79 pounds. It's shockingly manageable for its power. Now, here's the thing. This is a quote from some riders on the forum. The Blitz has similar max speed figures to the Master 4, with riders able to maintain 50 to 55 miles per hour on a full charge for about 10 to 20 miles. So that's from the EUC forum, and take it for what you will. But if you haven't experienced an EUC Blitz yet, that's what you can expect. It's a wheel built for those who want a hard charging, no excuse performer, an instant torque monster that doesn't back off when you push it. All right, so next on my list is the Inmotion P6. I call it the safety speed king because Inmotion has gone out of their way to make sure that no matter how hard you push this thing, with 320 plus odds so Newton meters of torque and above 400 phase current, you won't be able to over torque and cut this thing out, even at the low ends of the battery. So they've gone to extreme lengths to make sure that you can fully enjoy this machine without crapping it, you know? So far the reviews have shown that you're not able to. There were some tiny reviews with Roger where someone did apparently dipped it, but nothing conclusive came out of that, so I'm not going to say anything about that. But for the most part, this wheel is insanely durable, strong, and capable. So the Inmotion P6 represents the cutting edge of EUC engineering, running a 235 volt system with a 20 kilowatt peak output. This wheel rockets from 0 to 30 in 2 seconds. It's built with a 4,200 watt-hour battery, hydraulic 90 millimeter suspension, and real-world ranges up to 90 miles on paper. We've seen Duff and Marty do various range tests, which came out in the 70 range. I'm going to say for the average 30 to 45 mile per hour rider is going to be about 60 to 65 miles. That's just based on U-Stride math. Thank you very much. Take it how you want. Now, some of the riders, you know, on Facebook, actually, pretty much everybody on Facebook and the forums love this wheel, mostly because of the care and the approach that Inmotion went about, you know, producing this wheel. It was not necessarily in secret. It gave the allure that it was open, and for the most part, if you compare it to other companies, they were wildly transparent. So I think that's why people absolutely are gravitating to this wheel. On top of that, people know that Inmotion is just known for approaching engineering in a very quality way. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if they were the first one to bring out smart BMS, where you're able to actually see every cell on the app. I believe they were the first. Correct me if I'm wrong. But after that, I believe other companies started following suit. So shout out to Inmotion's engineering prowess and quality. Yeah, quality. That's very important. Now, while that top speed is more theoretical than practical because we haven't seen it yet, it shows what the P6 really stands for. Innovation at the edge of what's possible and sustained performance where most wheels just tend to taper off. So one of the things you'll see from a lot of reviewers when they try to hit the highest top speed that they've ever reached is that the more you push it, the more the wheel wants to go faster, more it wants to give. So what that translates to is that the wheel doesn't seem to have an end to it the more you push it at the higher limits. So that's good. That is insanely good. And that just means that Inmotion is just on a different level right now. Number 3 on the list is the Leaperkim Sherman L, the long-range Titan. And in my opinion, I know someone with the Leaperkim, and I see how he rides. Compared to how Marty and Duff rides, I can extrapolate what kind of mile I can expect to get from the P6 just by watching how this guy rides his Sherman L. And he absolutely loves his Sherman L. So, yeah, the Sherman L, until we see that in the real world, does retain that long-range Titan King for both being a performance wheel, which is pretty much in the same package as an EX30. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say it's pretty much the long-range high-performance King still. So I don't know how you guys want to take that. So take it how you want. Now, with a 3200 watt motor peaking at near 8 kilowatts and a 4000 watt hour battery, the Sherman L lives up to the Sherman legacy. Weighing in at around 102 pounds, it's capable of 125 mile range and speeds up to around 57 miles per hour. I've seen people do 60. Obviously, 125 miles is okay. we know the deal. Okay, this is going at like 16 miles an hour. Nobody does that. Anyway, if you planned on doing it, then yeah, you could do it. But yeah, that's what they do. They always show crazy stats like that. It's way out of the realm of reality. I don't even know why they do that. Now, some writers mention that the machine has to be the perfect NYC commuter. You could go from Queens to Hoboken and back without batting an eye. Now, that's awesome, man. And New York is pretty huge. And I can imagine they're getting good range on the wheel in New York, because New York has a lot of blocks, a lot of lights, a lot of traffic. So there's a lot of stop and go. So you won't really feel the range drop like that, because you're not constantly, pushing the battery to its limit like that. So I can expect high range even with a P6 in New York for sure, unless you're in the upper part of New York where there's a lot of wide roads and stuff like that. So New York City is not really per se a good example to judge range, only because of the constant stopping and going and stuff like that. That's just my opinion. Now, the Sherman L is a masterclass in stability and endurance. That's what some people say. It's made for those who ride hard and far. A wheel that laughs at the city limits. I love that. I love that. Wow. Whoever wrote that, shout out to you. Number 4 is the Leaperkim Lynx. Interesting. Leaperkim Lynx. Now, that's a compact powerhouse. Now, I did have an experience with the Leaperkim Lynx. I can't say anything bad about the battery. It's freaking great. It's a 2700 watt-hour battery, and I absolutely loved every moment of it. You know what's funny? I actually loved that wheel a lot because it gave me such a hard time. It gave me such a hard time because it just kept wobbling. Every time I tried to brake, it almost threw me off. It was great. It reminded me of the old days. You know what I mean? So I would absolutely buy a Lynx just because it gave me such a hard time. I would love to tame that beast. You know what I mean? So the Leaperkim Lynx may look modest, but it's ferocious. Facts. A 3200 watt motor, 2700 watt hour battery, and a 151 volt system pack torque that you can feel instantly. That is facts. Its 90 millimeter suspension and 88 pound weight make it the ideal balance between agility and raw muscle. That you definitely feel that riding this thing. Now, here's a quote from an EUC reviewer. This is my 15th one-wheel EV in 5 years, and without a shred of doubt, it's the very best. Now, that is an interesting quote. I wouldn't say it's the very best, but I just love how challenging it is to ride that thing. And I like the how do you say, the confidence that wheel has. Some wheels, they're kind of rickety, they're kind of topsy-turvy, they're, I don't know, kind of how do you say, top heavy, not really well balanced. The Lynx isn't really well balanced, but it has a lot of pluses in every other area. The battery, the quality, the range, for the speed it has, off-roading capability, the durability of the wheel. I pushed it hard at speed and that thing did not even wink at me. I mean, I was loving every bit of it. No matter how challenging it was sweat and happiness all throughout the ride. Okay, so I absolutely love it. The Lynx gives you a punchy acceleration, comfortable suspension, and long distance capability, all without going full tank mode. That's awesome. That is true. That is absolutely true. Now, number 5 is the Begode Panther. The Apex Predator. I like that. Now, finally, the Begode Panther. The definition of next-gen power. It boasts a 4,400 watt-hour battery, 5,000 watt motor, and 168 volt system, with a top practical speed of around 65 to 70 miles per hour and a free wheel speed of 100 miles per hour. It weighs about 116 pounds, built for endurance, range, and serious high speed confidence. Now, here's another rider quote from Facebook. Overall, the Panther is a great wheel. The ride quality, speed, and range make it one of the most well-rounded Begode releases to date. Wow. I love that quote. Now, I would love all of these wheels on my list right now. Facts! But, I can't right now. But, man, these are some really good wheels. You know what I like? I like that Begode is heading in the direction of shells, because I know they've been trying to cut down on price and cut down on weight in order to maintain range, but we see that with the ET Max, with the Race, with the I was gonna say Lynx, with the okay, so with the ET Max, the Race, the X-Way, what else? Yeah, these wheels, you see that basically Begode is heading in that direction. Now, obviously, some people are not happy with the shell of the Race, but it's a shell, you know. But the ET Max and the X-Way, I really like that approach. Come on, Begode, keep going in that direction. I love it. Now, my final thoughts. Each of these wheels represents the future of EUCs. Power that lasts, speed you can trust, range that frees you. Now, the 45-mile-per-hour wheels of yesterday are now entry level by comparison. That is so true and sad, but true. Now, we've entered an age where high voltage systems, massive batteries, and tuned control curves define performance. Whether you're commuting, cruising, or racing, these 5 EUCs deliver all the power and range you'll ever need. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you agree with my list? Okay, my honed in 5 top tier list of 2024 through 2025. Do you guys agree with that? Because the reason I chose these wheels is because these are the wheels I theoretically would purchase if I had the money or the ability to. Obviously, you guys have your own list. Give me your own top 5s in the comments below, and let me hear what you think. But I honestly think these are indeed top 5. Let me know what you guys think. Peace. All right, so let's check the stats here. It's very important to check the stats, you know. Dude, Marty, I really appreciate your range test, man. It's because of Marty's range test I know that 78 volts is pretty much, you know, dead. So, you know, once I see 95, I mean, damn, I still got a lot to go, dude. So many watt hours in 1 volt. I love it. So I did 8.27 miles riding hard. Average riding is 25.5 miles per hour. Top speed 47 miles per hour, 46.7, and we have 73% left. Now, you know it's a Begode, so you got to give it some time, and it's gonna like jump up maybe another 3%, maybe 2-3%. But yeah, man, got a ton more to go. All wheels are still very valid, guys. If you live in a small, you know, town, small city, and you just want to go here and there, nothing crazy, dude, the old high-powered wheels are pretty good. That's just my take, man. See, I'm at 74% now. Freaking awesome, man.